Hey, what's up, everybody? So like I said, I'm gonna keep making videos. This one today, I'm gonna tell everybody about my first prison rip. I've done three, technically. I've been four times, but one was for a parole violation just recently, and I cleaned it up. But so first time was in 2010, I believe. I'm pretty sure 2010. I had gotten put on probation for BS in the first place. One of my friends that I had known since high school, she was an addict and everything, and I went to help her out, and I was trying to help myself out at the same time. She said she had a couple of things to pawn, but she didn't have an ID, and just long story short, went and pawned it for her. It ended up being her dad's stuff. Instead of her just saying, oh, he'll get him out, she said I stole him and everything. I was, first time really, getting in trouble. So I took the first deal I had offered to me, and that was probation and drug court. And I was in the thick of my addiction, doing heroin at the time. So there was no way I was doing drug court, man. So I prolonged it, pushed it out, and kept fucking up, going back to jail, getting out, getting put back on probation, effing it up again. I mean, I probably did enough time in county jail, going back and forth to do the little uh, sentence I was supposed to do. And so I'm from Nevada, and the Nevada sentence structures are really weird. So what I was sentenced to the first time was called it's a 1 to 4 class. I think it was we have class A through F felonies. A and B are really bad, but like if you have any like C through D, you can get time off the front and back numbers, which are on a 1 to 4. Those are the front and back numbers. So like on a 1 to 4, if it's a low felony, you can just do like less than a year and get paroled. So I end up messing up, and the judge said, "All right, you're gonna go do your time." All right. So um, in Nevada, right now we have two. I guess they're considered like intake facilities. So up north, it's NNCC now. It used to be Nevada State Prison, but now it's NNCC. And down south is High Desert State Prison. And this is a maximum security prison that's now where all of death row is, I believe, because it used to be in Ely, but I think all death row is there now and everything. But back in the day, it was still a max yard, everything controlled movements. You have to have guards take you like to visiting and stuff and all sorts of stuff. So you go up there, and there's the fish tank, they call it, and it's just a classification unit, but everybody has to go through it. And it's usually my first round. I was in there for 32 days, and some people it's longer, especially gang affiliation and stuff like that, because it basically classifies you and sees where they're going to be able to house you in the facility. They can't just put you with anybody. Everybody, no matter what, has to be with their same race, unless like you're a white boy that's gang affiliated, like Crip, Blood, and stuff like that. They will put you with a black guy and stuff like that. But so it's me and you're in the cell, me and another white guy. The only time you get out of your cell is for maybe 15 minutes every other day for a shower. Other than that, you're locked down. Bring you your meals. You have and you have nothing. I mean, there's no like county jail where there's TV. Maybe you can hear, maybe radio. Um, Nowadays it's even worse because you can't even get commissary or good hygiene. Back the first time I went, it was cool because you could order commissary still, so you can get coffee and little treats and stuff. If you're lucky and had hot water in your cell, you can make some cool soups and some spreads, but that's if your money hit in time. So that was a cool thing, but it's really tough. Like you have to. I mean, like by the end of that 30 days, you're hoping they call your name on the little squawk box, man, and say roll your things up. You're going to General Pop, man, and especially if you don't get like a cool cellmate. Luckily, all four times I've gone through it, I've really, I'd say like there's one bad cellmate. Not really bad. He's just a weird kid, but he wasn't nothing like crazy or not. I mean, just weird kid. So this time, though, my first time, it was really awesome. I actually lucked out, and it was really interesting because I got this older guy, and he came in. So I was with one dude, and he left like literally the the day I got there, he left. So the next day I got a new cellmate. And it was a guy that's been through the system a lot in Nevada. Like, he was at Ely State Prison when they still had death row, and he used to be a porter on death row. And he actually he told me a story of, there was this kid that was about to be unalived, and he waived all his appeals. He was only like 23 years old, and he told me his name and everything, and I looked up his name, and this is true. And I guess the kid offered him his shower shoes, like one day, and he's like, "Aren't you gonna need him?" He's like, "No, I'm going to Carson City, I think in a couple days, and going to the upper room." So it's pretty crazy. But like, this guy had such crazy stories and everything, and usually, like, I've heard a lot of BS, and you just whatever. I'm the guy that won't be like, "Oh, you're full of it." I'll just like listen. This guy had really cool stories and everything, so they might be true, they might not be. But a lot of the stuff I checked out was legit when I got out, and I checked that guy's name. But the coolest thing was, he told me about his sister. And his sister, I guess her job was to go around for movies, and find the sites to film big movies. Like, she found the area where they filmed Dances with Wolves. I think that was it, based like in Wyoming or something like that. But for Dances with Wolves, for what is it called? America's Sweethearts, the movie, and that was like in Las Vegas. But a bunch of good movies. And then she, at the time when he was incarcerated, she actually worked for the show House. I don't know if anybody watched that show, but Hugh Lowry, that made his career and everything. And I was like, "Oh, cool." He's like, "Hey, I'll write my sister. Do you want Hugh Lowry, the guy that plays House? Would you like his autograph?" I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." I thought it was BS. All right, so come to go, we're just hanging out. We go our separate ways because I get called out for first, and I go to a different unit. Like 2 weeks into it, man, I get a manila envelope mail call, and I was like, "What's this, man?" It was an autographed headshot from Hugh Lowry. It says, "Hey, Josh, sorry for the situation, but keep your head up." I was like, "This is legit." Crazy. So I really lucked out. It was a really cool guy. He had really cool stories, and I guess a lot of them were true, because I mean, that wasn't BS, and that was one of the cooler things that happened in my prison experiences. That was really, I still have the autograph somewhere. I'll look for it. Maybe I have to show you guys one time. So that was really, really interesting. But after you get through the fish tank, so it's a long, like I said, 30 days. I did 32. They call you to your next unit. And the crazy thing about it is, so like I said, this is my first time in prison. I'm on a max yard, level 4 max yard. And instead of because they classify you, and I was classified to go to they're called fire camps in Nevada. California has them too, and you go and do wildland firefighting or do cleanups and stuff. But before I go to camp, they stick me on level 3 yard with, people that are doing life, I mean, hard gang banging, everything. And they do this with everybody. And more so just to see if you can carry yourself the proper way in prison. I mean, you're either a shark or you're, a guppy. And that's the way it is. You get thrown to the wolves, and you see how you can handle yourself. Luckily for me, I mean, I'm not a gangbanger, nothing like that. I'm not a violent man, but like I said, luckily I'm 6'2". I'm in good shape. It's very political in Nevada. It's like California a lot of ways, not as hardcore as California, but we have the same politics. So you're with your own race, even if you're not a racist person. You're doing mandatory workouts. Sorry, we're getting this on a bottle right now, but you're doing mandatory workouts no matter what. So that was hard for a lot of young bucks that unless you were working out or training yourself, or you're just an athletic person, they will break you down. And it's not in a bad way. It's to break you down to make sure you're built up when if stuff does hit the fan, you're gonna be a gladiator out there. They're not wanting you to but you want to be prepared, because it's amazing how many people are strapped with bangers and have craziest stuff on them at all times. Especially certain races, they are required to. So you get thrown to the wolves and everything, but like I said, do it it really helped me physically because, you know, back at that time I was very athletic and everything, but doing burpees every day, you had to do 100. We did 123 burpees every day, 3 pumps. I was doing 3 pumps at the time, you know, start working up. So you stay in really good shape, you know, cardio wise and everything like that. Um, you learn, I don't know, I think prison's weird in a sense, like it can change people, but it teaches you a real respect. And it's amazing how many people just don't have it. There's words I will not use towards people unless I'm ready to catch a fade immediately. I will not call another grown man bitch. I will not ever call another grown man a punk or a lame. Just 3 words I will not use to somebody unless I'm meaning it and I'm ready to throw down. I'm ready to catch a fade no matter what. And that's just what you do. And it's amazing how many young people and stuff like that will throw that word around or throw, like, you know, like, I'm a grown man. I don't know who you're talking to. And I'll always have that mentality because it does make sense. You don't call people that. You don't, I mean, it's just some stuff you don't do. It teaches you to respect another man. Definitely, especially, you have to think, you're put into a cell with another person. I mean, and I've been in another facility in Nevada. It's called Southern Desert, and their cells are tiny. But High Desert was all right. It was a newer facility. It's where they filmed Undisputed. If anybody's ever seen the movie with Wesley Snipes, boxing movie, it's actually where they filmed that. But they're probably, I would say, maybe 12 by 6 cells. You have, you know, by the window in the back, there's a window, there's 2 bunks. You have a little area with a sink and your toilet. But you really have to, like, in those circumstances, man, it's respect, man. Like, you don't just pass gas in front of somebody. You always go up to the door. You know, try to go to the door flat, man. Pass gas that way. It might sound weird to a grown man, but you sit down when you pee. You 100% sit down when you pee. And it's because, like, this is where we live. This is where we do stuff. And when you pee, when you're standing up, especially a 6'2" guy or anybody taller, it splashes. I don't care how good you are, it splashes. So you sit down when you pee, and you don't, it's weird, like, you straddle to the toilet the opposite way. It's not like sitting down like the normal way. You go the opposite way. It's a weird thing. I'm sure there's videos out there on it, but it's just a common respect. And you learn to have a routine, man. It's really interesting how you can, like, you either can, you know, get in with the program or you'll get out really quick, because there's guys that are not leaving that place, old timers that have done a lot of time, and unless you get with the program, man, they will put you on your rear, and it won't be in a good way. And you know, if you're somebody, like, I never thought I would go back. 100% never thought I would go back. I'm like, oh, this is a one-time thing. But if you go once, there's almost, at least over a 50% chance you're going to go back again. It's just what it is until you just change completely. You know, so you start, I mean, and you PC up that one time, and you can't walk a main line anywhere. And that's a big thing. Like, I like being being able to walk the main line and be a general population person. Like, you guys, in a sense, I'm not trying to brag about it, but you hold your head up high. It means you walked as a man. You didn't do any crimes that were against kids, any, sexual crimes or anything like that. Any BS. Your crimes were like, you were a convict. It's what it is. I'm not trying to say it as a good label or anything good, but I'm not a piece of crap. On the other sense, there's scum out there, and they shouldn't be walking around. You don't do anything to kids. You don't do anything to females like that. It's not the way to go. So you go there unless you're going to be staying at High Desert for about a month, and then finally they tell you, all right, and, here my last name, Cushing, roll up, you're heading to camp tomorrow. And they don't tell you what camp because they don't want, escape policies and stuff like that, or any transfer. They don't tell you where you're going, but you, in a sense, know. That first time I went to Pioche Fire Camp. If you look it up, it's in Pioche, Nevada. Really, really small town. It's called a rural camp. It's in the middle of nowhere, but it's really cool. You get there, and instead of being at a yard that's max and there's, razor wire everywhere, electric fence, all the good stuff, gun towers, you pull up to this camp, man, and there's like a little fence with 3 little, little old school, like, you know, farm raise, like razor thing. Not even razor, just like, you know, BS barbed wire fence. And it's up to my, like, my chest. There's grass. They have an outside gym. The place only holds 140 people, and you're like, this is legit. So it was really cool. They have a soft, like, the track and the softball field is actually outside the fence. They open it up and you play softball games on the weekends. You have a really good weight pile, and you get. So I am actually a certified. What is it? A basic one certified wildland firefighter. 100%. I have been on, I would say, 9 wildland fires, a bunch in California. I've rode in a Chinook helicopter, been airlifted, like, awesome stuff. I fought with, like, back to back with the best hot shots out there, and it's really interesting. I'm a certified sawyer to run chainsaw. It's really fun. Like, so you go there, and for the most part, you go and, you know, you clean up freeways and stuff and everything, but when fire season comes, you're always on call. And if you're a good, if, like, there's, I think, 8 camps in Nevada now. If you're a good camp, they're calling you all the time. Stewart, that's up by Carson City in Nevada, they're right by the Capitol, and they're right by California. They're always going on fires. And the cool thing is, you get $1 an hour from when you leave the gate until you come back. $1 an hour, and that's good for people that don't have people, you know, sending money and stuff. You can get a TV eventually if you're doing a lot of fires. Just cool stuff like that. And it was just really fun, like, especially in California, the people respect us and are so excited to see us there because we're saving houses and stuff like that. So that was really cool. That's my next prison bit. I'll tell you a little bit about that. I went on a lot of fires, but this one, so I'm at Pioche, and it's just a culture shock because, like, you know, you're at this scary yard, man, and I've seen stabbings and stuff like that, and then you're at this really cool, lax place. People had they had pet snakes, pet tarantulas in their lockers. It's crazy. The first minute I got in there after we had our orientation, a guy comes up to me, "Hey, you want to buy a cigarette for $1?" Yes, I want to buy a cigarette for $1. Man, I haven't had tobacco, so just a way different thing, man. Totally night and day, and you feel like you're doing something beneficial. There's still the politics for sure, but it changes way drastically, you know. There's one thing in Nevada you always carry around, so it's called, nowadays you can't have it. The last time I went, they took it away from you, but it used to be called, you had a PSI. It's called your pre-sentencing investigation, and basically shows all your crimes, drug history, everything like that. If you've ever, you know, snitched on anybody or, you know, testified against anybody, what cases you have, and it's basically what you hand your higher ups for your race to be like, yeah, I'm not a scumbag. You know, it's your walk around pass, and you're not allowed to have them nowadays, and it's crazy. So you don't know what other people are doing unless you really go, you have your people go on the computer and stuff, and you can do that. It's all public information. So I was there for, I think, because I did a short sentence, my first one. I was there for maybe 8 months, and then I went to a place called Casa Grande, and I've talked about it a little bit. I've been to Casa Grande 3 times. That's actually, I met my wife through Casa Grande the last time. It's awesome, but it's so it's really screwed because I've never gotten my first parole. It's always been my second parole. So I should have only done like 9 months my first time. But the reason I had to go to my second parole date, my mandatory, is because a caseworker didn't put a signature on one piece of paper, and I didn't get to go in front of the parole board. So I had to wait for my next parole hearing, and I got it automatically. But it was just, so I did an extra, like, I did it over a year when I didn't have to. So I did like an extra 4 or 5 months. It was ridiculous, but it was cool because I was stacking money. So Casa Grande, I got accepted for it, and it's in Las Vegas. It's a facility in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I go back home, and it's basically a place you go find a job, and you get to go to work every day, and you come back, and they have guards and everything. It's really cool. There's females there and males and everything, and that's another story. A lot of idiot hoopla going around that. I've had tons of roommates gotten kicked out because they're dating a girl that goes to Casa Grande. Stupid. Find another girl. But actually, if anybody follows football or Oakland Raider football, Henry Ruggs, the guy that got arrested in the beginning of his career because he got a DUI and killed a lady. And her dog was recently just at Casa Grande and got kicked out and had to go finish his sentence at Southern Desert. But yeah, he's been at Casa Grande. So it's a really cool facility. That first time I went there, they still allowed you to go get a job at a car wash. And that was the lick because you always had cash on you from tips. You didn't have to turn it in or you just didn't do it. And now you have to have jobs that all have direct deposit. Back then it was getting paper checks. And the entire 5 months that I was there, I never turned in a check. I just had my money. And it bit me in the butt the next time because when I came back the next sentence, they're like, you owe Nevada Department of Corrections like $1,500 for rent. So had to pay that back. But it was cool, man. Always had cash. Was working at a car wash. I was using again. I like I'll get more into my addiction. I had been a needle user at one point, so I had rigs on me. It was bad. So right when I got out, I was still full of fledged and back into heroin and stuff. But it was just really interesting and just a little showing you what the prison system's sort of like. I mean, like, so my second rip, and I'll tell you that another story, was totally different. Still went to Casa Grande, but was only there for a month because of my addiction and got caught using and ended up having to go do a year in Southern Desert and was in a level 3 for the entire rest of the time. But I just want to share a little bit about what it's time. I met a lot of interesting people. But that guy that I was in the fish tank with, I believe his name was Ben. That was the coolest thing. Got an autograph from Hugh Lowry. That was really cool. Anybody, if you ever have any questions or any kind of comments, in the comments, I'll answer anybody. But I just want to tell you about my first rip, a little bit about me. I'm going to do another little part of my addiction probably later today. I appreciate everybody. We're getting our hours for, get to our monetization. I appreciate everybody. Be there today on the live, everybody. It's every 10 subscribers. Tattoo Crew, we're growing leaps and bounds. I appreciate you guys. Be safe out there and have a great day. Peace.